So this video is about how I have managed to survive years and years and years of sexual assault and violence on my sacred temple. And I've told my story before, many times, in support groups, and in classes, and in sessions, and here on the internet. I've talked about being kidnapped and molested and held hostage, but for some reason today, I'm filled with so much resistance and anxiety and nervousness about telling my story. And I feel this overwhelming sense that something so much bigger than me is about to shift because I'm saying these things right now. So let's do it. I have been sexually assaulted. I really don't even know how to count how many times, because if it's 3 guys all at once, do you count that as 1 rape or 3? Do you count all of the times that you were coerced and manipulated and just straight up lied to, and somebody pretended to be a completely different person than who they were just to gain access to you? And it still leaves you with that icky, gross, violated feeling, because if you would have known the truth, you would have never said yes. And then what about the times when somebody halfway through violated consent by doing something that you both agreed you didn't want to do, or taking off the condom? Like, do you count those as half rapes, or are those whole too? Like, how do we even count them? In 41 years, I have been sexually violated more times than I can count on my fingers and toes. There is truly something broken within the world of men. They have absolutely no respect for the divine feminine. They have no honor, no adoration for the sacred seat of creation, for the divine portal from which they took breath and life. They take and take and take, and under this full moon, I break the cycle of taking, disrespecting, and violating what you should have never had access to in the first place. Cause I ain't never, only one time have I been sexually violated by a stranger. It's always somebody I trusted. It's always somebody I willingly invited in because they disarmed me. It's so, disgusting isn't even the word. The way men put so much energy into being fake and phony just to gain access. The whole pickup artist energy, I completely got off dating apps because I started to notice men saying the exact same things word for word. They had this phrasing like they were all being fed these lines to learn how to mentally manipulate women and disarm women just so that they can use them for their bodies, having no interest in me as a person at all beyond being able to use my body to masturbate. And the absolute worst part to me about sexual assault is the shame and the embarrassment that it fills you with, that has you just willing to suffer in silence and in shame, not wanting to speak on it, not wanting to risk being judged, and having people asking you a bunch of questions like, well, what was you doing? Well, what did you do to put yourself in that situation? And what did you have on? And I can tell you from experience that a man will rip that turtleneck right off of you and them thick ass tights to steal whatever it is that he wants. It doesn't matter what you wear. It never has and it never will, because it's not your problem. It's his lack of discipline. It's his degeneracy. It is his evil. And it should be his burden and his shame to carry. So under this full moon, I am conducting an incredibly powerful cord cutting that is going to untangle and untie the binds that may still be holding you to your abuser. Because I know for me, Spirit spoke to me in the middle of the night one night, like, hey, you got to cut ties from those people too. And I'm thinking like, man, I do cord cuttings all the time. Yeah, you cut cords all the time, but you cut cords from the relationships that you enter into knowingly and willingly. You have not cut cords and ties from the relationships that you were forced into or coerced into. So we need to go and release those cords and those ties. So if your energy is just always drained and you're always feeling sleepy and tired every time it's time for you to get to work, you feel a little boost of motivation, you'll get an idea, but then you'll just feel so drained out of nowhere. Like, my spirits told me that is because these abusers, these sexual deviants are still pulling at your energy. A loser that got to steal pussy to get some, he don't get it very often, so he's still thinking about you a lot. And every time to the thought of you, he's pulling at your energy. He is draining your life force energy. He is pulling you back. That cord, that invisible cord, that soul tie, that deep emotional bond that was built between y'all. For you, it was built through fear and terror and disgust. Those are still emotions too. There's a deep emotional bond that y'all share. Every time that you have flashbacks or that person pops up in your dreams, that deep emotional tie, that's what that is. So under this full moon, I'm going to unravel that and pull that out of you and then cut that and then release that and then send that energy back. And then we're going to do a whole thing. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it together. It is time for these negative, toxic cycles to be broken. This Friday and Saturday, we are having a full moon in Pisces and a lunar eclipse. That means the shadows are going to be illuminated, and everything that you thought was hidden, everything that you stuffed down and swallowed down and that you don't want to deal with and you don't want to talk about and you don't want nobody to ever know about, and you think you take it to your grave, guess what's about to bubble up on you this weekend? So I advise everybody, prepare yourself for this Pisces full moon. Get your emotional support toolkit ready. Get you a little kit of all your favorite comfort snacks. And you know, sadness is a part of life. Sadness is an emotion that we need to experience. You can't keep running from sadness all your life. Don't run away from being sad, baby. People die, niggas cry. Sadness is a part of life. Let yourself cry. Maybe try to have fun with it. I like to make me a sad girl playlist. I'm a Pisces. I'll get all the way in my emotions. I got plenty of sad girl playlists that make me cry. Cry to your favorite song. Don't cry to the thought of some loser. Cry to your favorite songs. Cry with your friends. Have a waiting to exhale party. You know what I'm saying? For this full moon. I wish I had some friends. I would have a waiting to exhale party. This release ritual, this cord cutting release ritual, it'll be a waiting to exhale party because I'm cutting the cords and getting rid of, even for myself, like the most recent sexual assault I experienced was just so crazy. At the time, it seemed very micro because of all of the other horrible things that I've experienced in life, but it still left me feeling incredibly violated. So I go out with this guy, fake Rasta. You know I can't stay away from him. They get me every time. We out dancing, having a good time, enjoying each other's vibes. He's really comfortable with me and decides to just palm my whole pussy. Just pussy clean, pussy tight. And he makes up a whole song. He just is going on. Fat boom boom. Fattest boom boom I ever seen in my life. Where you hiding all that? You can't keep that from me, girl. Girl. You got the whole family boom boom right there. You didn't leave no boom boom for your mama. You got it on ya. You can't keep that from me. You gotta give me some of that. And I'm so busy cracking up laughing that I didn't punch him in the face. And later on, when you're sitting with yourself and your body starts talking to you and it's telling you, I didn't like that. I did not like the way that felt. Do not bring him around me again. I feel violated. And you sit there and then you start going down that little shame spiral. Why didn't I punch that nigga in the face? Why didn't I do something? Why didn't I say something? Why didn't I react differently? Why do I always just freeze up and laugh? Why do I always fawn? I've done all of this work. I've done all of this work. I've been in therapy my entire adult life. I've taken all the classes, read all the self-help books. I've been in so many support groups and sister circles and healing circles and womb washes and all kinds of, segue into a commercial. I've created my own healing products so that I could facilitate my cleansings more efficiently and effectively. Like, one of the programs that I did that helped me so much, I'll forever have so much love and gratitude in my heart for Courageous Connections. Thank you so much. Miss Frey went through this whole program with us about how experiencing trauma in early childhood changes your brain development and in your core, building in your foundation, like your wires is miscrossed. And I don't experience things the way other people experience them. Danger don't be looking like danger to me. I process things slowly, outside of the moment, after the fact, because in the moment I'm so busy trying to keep myself safe. When you experience sexual violence at a young age and your boundaries are violated and nobody ever course corrects and tells you that nobody is supposed to touch your privates, nobody's supposed to do this to you, nobody is supposed to do that to you, you grow up thinking that it's okay for people to touch you when you don't want to be touched. Them things in your brain, they're not connected to where they're supposed to be. So you, no matter how much work you do, it's still imprinted in your body that, okay, so when I was about 8 or 9, my mother's husband's nephews would come over to play. And my mom would be upstairs drinking with her friends, and all the kids would be in the basement playing. Well, there was one little boy that was like 12 and 200 pounds, and he liked to sit on me. And he had this obsession with butts. He always wanted to talk about butts and poop and farts and butts and sticking stuff up butts. And he was always trying to stick stuff in my butt. So one time, all the kids are in the basement and he's sitting on top of me, and he, like at 8 years old, I don't have the language. I don't understand what's happening to me. I don't understand why anybody would want to do this. I don't understand that this person is getting pleasure from hurting me. I don't understand what sexual pleasure even is. I have no concept for this in my brain. I just know that this is hurting me. And I also know that my little brothers and sisters are watching. And I've always known that I've had to protect them and I had to be okay for them. So I didn't scream and I didn't cry and I didn't do anything. And when I was bleeding, I went upstairs and told my mother that he kept jumping on top of my body and hurting me. And she didn't even look up from the table. But that boy's mother said, "Oh, he just likes to watch a lot of wrestling and he plays rough. Don't mind him. He don't mean no harm by it. It's okay. Y'all go play. You play nice. Don't play rough with the girls." Nobody checked on me. Nobody investigated. Nobody asked the other kids what was going on. Nobody asked if you were okay. So I learned in that moment subconsciously that I didn't matter. My safety didn't matter. Nobody was going to fight for me. I was never going to get justice, and that my body was not mine, and I didn't have the right and the agency to advocate for myself and say that I don't want something. I just had to sit there and suffer through it until it was over. And so over the years, I learned to leave my body. I learned not to fight. I learned not to struggle, because you would get hurt. You would get punched. You would get stretched out.
I can even ask you that all the time, like, sister, how did you make it move?
Nigga, I don't know.
I want to know, but I don't want to know, like, I'm just glad you're here and you were intact.
Nigga, I was drinking when I was 14. That's how I made it. And so still sometimes today, as a grown adult woman who knows better, I still freeze. So I did this ritual on myself a couple full moons ago. And y'all know everything I do is so deeply, intensely impactful and I'm here soaking my feet because it's Monday, and I always do my cleansing baths on Mondays, but I'm on my moon cycle, so I didn't want to sit down in the tub, so I'm doing a foot soak. I'm cleansing. I program the water to absorb everything that I'm talking about and releasing right now, and transmute it and clear it from me, to untangle it and untie it from me. And I am releasing, and this is how I have survived. Building a deeper relationship with my spirit, building a relationship with elemental healing, and washing myself and cleansing myself through the water, and clearing myself with crystals, and clearing myself with smoke and fire, and shadow work. Shadow work has been like the #1 tool in surviving and being any semblance of normal, going all the way back to those first moments where I was wired wrong, and unlearning those things and reteaching those things, and going back and doing inner child work and regressing myself all the way back to that age, and sitting there with 8-year-old Drea and giving her the experience that she should have had, comforting her, listening to her, being there for her, protecting her, helping her, cleaning her up, teaching her about her body. I sit with versions of myself. So that's why I call myself a quantum light healer, because I have to use quantum ways of healing, because trying to do like earthbound healing and therapy and all of the things, I spent so many years trying to heal my mind and heal my body and get right. I've spent my entire adult life in therapy. I've spent so much money in therapy. I've spent so much money on retreats and programs and erotic embodiment training, just so that I could feel at home in my body and actually experience pleasure. I have had to do so much work. It's so exhausting, and it's never ending. And this ritual, this cord cutting, I'm not saying it's a fix-all. It's definitely not a fix-all, but it is a catalyst to get you started on your healing journey. Because a lot of you have the same power that I have. The throat chakra activation, where you're able to speak life and death over things and people, where you're able to manifest things and speak things into existence with your voice, but your voice has been silenced through shame. Your voice has been silenced through sexual violence. You have been disconnected from your power because you have been disconnected from your body. You don't truly live in your body, so you're not truly in your power. This ritual is going to remove that shame and remove that blockage, so you can get your power back. So what has saved me? Shadow work has saved me. Quantum magic has saved me. Being able to connect with different versions of myself quantumly, like how Spider-Man had to do, and all those different versions of Spider-Man from the different multiverses had to come and show him. Like, I had to call out to the version of myself who had never been violated. I had to call out to the version of myself who had already healed and transmuted all of this energy. I had to call out to the little version of me before all of this happened, who was still full of so much fearlessness and vitality and light, and used to stand literally on milk crates and scream about kids' rights. And I was an activist at 3 years old. Shame silenced me and stole my voice, and I'm just now in the last 3-4 years getting it back. Telling my story helped me survive. Saying it out loud and validating myself instead of waiting for other people to believe me. My relationships with divine feminine deities. Divine feminine deities whose stories closely mirror mine, who have been disrespected by the masculine, who have been violated and taken advantage of by the masculine, and how they reclaim their power. Studying those stories and calling to those energies and meditating in those energies helped me to survive. Kalima, Mami Wata, all of those divine feminine deities helped me through. Yemoja, lots and lots of baths, because it leaves you feeling dirty. It leaves you feeling full of shame. It leaves you feeling disgusting. It leaves you feeling like something is wrong with you, even though it's them. Like, I didn't do the weird shit. That nigga did the weird shit. Why should I feel dirty and nasty? He should feel dirty and nasty. So this ritual reverses all of that energy, all of those emotions, and send them back to where they're supposed to be, because I didn't do nothing wrong. I trusted someone who was going out of their way to manipulate me into trusting them. I didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing I could have done differently. And I guess I was so apprehensive about making the video because I say, like, how can I say that I've survived this? Like, I have survived, but I still feel like a lot of days I struggle. I spent a long time just in isolation and seclusion and just avoiding men altogether and not dating. And that wasn't healing. That was just avoidance because I still had all of the same coping mechanisms. Even when I decided I'm going to date, I'm going to try being in relationships, I'm going to try intimacy, and I would meet men and, you know, we would have all of these long drawn out conversations. I would wait months. I would wait 2-3 dates before I even opened the door to even talk about anything intimate with the person. And this was back when I was still drinking. I met a man. We went out a couple times, and I think the third time I was like, oh, you can come in, have a drink, we're talking, everything is good, the vibe is right, and we're enjoying ourselves. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired, I'm gonna get ready for bed. And he's like, I'm going to bed with you. I'm like, no, you're not. Have a good night, sir. I'm reaching for the butcher knife under my bed, and he grabs both my wrists with one hand and pulls his shirt up with the other hand to show me that his chest is already covered in slash marks and stab wounds, and tells me in the calmest, most monotone voice, you could give it to me or I could take it, but I'm not leaving without it. And you know what I thought about while that man was on top of me? How many times I asked my father to take me to the range and teach me how to shoot, to teach me how to operate a firearm, to buy me a weapon, to teach me how to protect myself, because he wouldn't. You know what else I had time to think about while that man was on top of me? How many times my father asked me to take him to the airport so he could go to other countries and fuck women my age. Under this full moon, I break all cycles of overperforming, over empathizing, settling and filling in gaps for connection, for people who are beneath me and do not deserve the privilege of knowing me. And I release any need, want, or desire to be protected by a man. I don't need to be protected by a man. I need to be protected from men. As long as I keep men out of my face, I don't need no protection. I'm inspired to do this work because the big sister in me don't want nobody else to go through the things that I went through. If I could save anybody from experiencing the pain that I have, I feel like I've accomplished something in life. If any of this resonates with you at all, I invite you to join my full moon cord cutting and release ritual. And if you need a safe space, a container to be witnessed, to be held, to be heard, and to begin your healing, I invite you to book a one-on-one soul session with me so we can get you what you need. If you are tired of being tired and feeling drained and pretending like everything is okay when your soul is screaming and your body is telling you that it feels violated, take my hand. Take my hand. Let's do this together. You do not have to suffer in silence. You do not have to go through this alone. It was not your fault. You should not be carrying any shame. Come with me and let's release this. Once you do, I guarantee you will feel lighter. I guarantee you will have more vitality. I guarantee you that everything in your life will start to improve once we unravel and release and cut these ties. If you're really ready to jump through this quantum time portal during this eclipse, through this Pisces eclipse, and let go of all of that sadness, all of that shame, all of that guilt, everything that has held you down, weighed you down, held you back, if you're really ready to let that go, come with me. The link is in the bio. Join the release ritual. And you might be looking at the price like, why is this so cheap? Why is this so cheap? I thought she doing all this big work. I am. I'm only charging you for the offerings. This is my give back to my community, because when I did this ritual for myself, my life transformed. Doors opened up overnight. I woke up the next morning, I had a raise and a promotion. Money started showing up in the mail in unmarked envelopes, like $1 here, $1. Money started showing up. My life started opening up. I'm doing this cord cutting ritual as a give back because Miss Bossy Bruja, lit a candle for me on her altar for free. For the free 99. Y'all know how much her candles cost? A pretty gorgeous penny. Far from free. And she recommended that if I wanted to give thanks for her, I should give thanks and pass it on to somebody else. This is the biggest way I could think to pass on to others. Unlocking and unleashing somebody from a world of inner turmoil and being stuck in a prison of their own mind, of shame and pain, and helping them get started on their shadow work journey, helping do a lot of the heavy lifting and moving a lot of the bricks and setting you free. I am a shadow worker. I'm your big sister. Roll with me. I got you. Hand them here. Let me get them up off you. Let me take care of it.